Namaskar, friends. As we know that this HRDC of Gujarat University organized one online workshop of, on NEP 2020 National Credit Framework. So, on behalf of my HRDC Gujarat University, myself, Professor Preeti Mayani, is welcoming all of you in this workshop. I would also like to welcome our today's resource person. He is the very eminent personality, Professor Dr. Jagdish Rathod ji. Sir, I am welcoming you too.
Namaskar,
And
ma'am.
this is pride and privilege to have with you in this HRDC Gujarat University. I'm also welcoming my senior most colleague, Professor Dr. C.G. Brahmbhat, sir. Sir, I'm welcoming you, and our director of HRDC Gujarat University has sending his best wishes to this workshop. So, friends, once again, I'm welcoming all of you on behalf of HRDC Gujarat University, and I'm requesting Shri Rushi Bhai for the university song.
वंदन अभिनंदन वंदन अभिनंदन वंदन अभिनंदन वंदन अभिनंदन वंदन अभिनंदन गुजरात यूनिवर्सिटी आपणी गुजरात यूनिवर्सिटी आपणी विद्या तणु तपोवन वंदन अभिनंदन वंदन अभिनंदन वंदन अभिनंदन वंदन अभिनंदन राष्ट्र चेतना कला साधना खेल भावना विकसे विश्व मानवी बनी गुजराती विश्व सकल માં વિલસે સ્નેહ સંપ સહકારની સાથે દેતી તું સન્મતિ સૌના સાથને સંગાથે સૌ સિદ્ધ કરે ઉન્નતિ પ્રેમ બંધુતા સમાનતાના પલ પલ પ્રસરે સ્પંદન વંદન અભિનંદન વંદન અભિનંદન વંદન અભિનંદન વંદન અભિનંદન વંદન અભિનંદન વંદન અભિનંદન વંદન અભિનંદન
Friends, I'm very glad to inform you that this HRDC has created so many histories during the pandemic and in this world education. So, as you know, that we organize so many this kind of workshops, and today we are coming with the another new topic and another very important topic of today's era. So, friends, let me first introduce our today's resource person, uh, Professor Dr. Jagdish Ji, and
Yeah.
he is a very dynamic personality. Uh, I just go through his CV, and I'm really very glad to have you, sir, because I think this is the first time with you in this platform of HRDC Gujarat University.
Right.
So, once again, I'm welcoming you, and I just try to define your personality with the help of your CV. Friends, sorry for the interruption because of some technical issues. Sorry once again. First of all, once again, I would like to welcome Professor Dr. Jagdish Rathod ji.
Namaskar.
Is the Associate Dean, Admin and Professor, Electronics Engineering Department, BBM Engineering College, Gujarat. Sir, as I told that sir is professor in charge, COE Electromagnetics and Antenna Research Center at Birla Vishwakarma Mahavidyalaya Engineering College. He is awarded with esteemed award of GTU as Teach Guru Best Teacher in 2022. Recipient of Shiksha Bharati Award, Honor of Excellence in Research Excellence Award, Academic Excellence Award by the various non-profit organization for honor about his achievement and contribution in nation building. 3 times Academic Excellence Award by the Institute, Gaurav Puraskar in Individual Faculties Excellence category for national recognition by Charodar Vidya Mandal CVM on the occasion of 76th Foundation Day of CVM. So, sir, I'm really very glad to introduce
Thank you.
you. Please share your CV with our participants because of some time concerns, I'm just not able to go through with your whole CV, and I'm really very glad to welcome you and requesting you to share your knowledge regarding this topic on this online workshop of NEP 2020 National Credit Framework. So once again, I'm welcoming you and
Thank you.
inviting you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for your nice introduction and warm welcome. And this is my first talk at
Yeah,
the because I am from the engineering background, but obviously we have already reached to the level that is a NAC. So we have already prepared for it because we are autonomous institutes.
yeah.
We are also, I hope my voice is clear and audible perfectly,
Perfect,
right?
perfect, sir.
So,
Perfect.
madam, obviously, yesterday I was also there at Ahmedabad, and the international organization IEEE given me another award that is actually in my field, the innovation what I have carried out for my research scholars. Even one of the PhD student or other master's student of your Gujarat University have also visited my laboratory. So I'm happy to serve and help the researchers in this direction. But thank you very much, madam. Thanks for your introduction. Yes, thank you. Obviously, we have already we have done the some programs on NEP also in our institute, and we have also interact with the fellows, those who are very good in this NEP, those who are involved in the framework, those who are involved in the national policy documents. I'm trying to share my screen. Yes, so when I share the screen, please tell me whether you. Because I'm going to see with the entire screen. Is it visible? Hello.
Yes, sir, definitely.
Definitely. So that's a good. Thank you very much, all the my fellow colleagues, those who are here in this UGC sponsored online workshop of UGC MMTTC Gujarat. I mean, organized by the Gujarat University on National Education Policy 2020. I'm here for discuss about the national credit framework because, as you know, the education 4.0 says that faculty or the teacher or the professors, whatever the identity we call, should be a facilitators. So we should be ready to help the students. Student can learn anything, anytime, anywhere. I'm talking about the because you cannot say that the your area is only the areas which is important, because it is the approach of the multidiscipline, it is the approach of the every branch based works. Yes, I am Professor Jagdish M. Rathod. I am Associate Dean and Professor of the Institute, which is the first engineering college of Gujarat. Our existence is started in 14 June 1948, inaugurated by the Lord Mountbatten. And the dream of this college was conceived and executed by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. The donation was given by G.D. Birla Saab, and we are here as autonomous institutes and with the UGC, with the NAC A grade accredited. Let me say something on the basic of NEP 2020 because just a 2 to 3 slides on it, because then I switch over to my topic that why the we have to work on credit and that credit transfers, then how the things can be do for the international identity, what are the basic advantages of this that I'll share. So National Education Policy 2020 under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister reflect the aspiration of the student, teachers and citizens of the country. Obviously, it is rooted in a Bharatiya when I say that Swadesi movement. So NEP is rooted in a Bharatiya and is in a sync with the culture and heritage of our nation while assimilating the global knowledge and perspective. NEP 2020, that emphasis on of making the education more holistic and effective by integration of general, that is academic and vocational education, while ensuring the vertical and horizontal mobility of students and learners between academic and vocational streams. Are we allowed, are we ready to send the student for the some visits, to visit the NGO, to visit the some villages? Are we allow the students to learn online workshop? And as you know, after the pandemic, the things become somewhat easy, and we all are witness of it. And we have really worked as a Corona warriors. So I appreciate all the teachers, all the supporters of the education systems. Because of them, education system is okay. There may be a degradation in somewhat level, but at the same time, we have continued the education system with our courage and with our efforts. So I congratulate you all. So when I say that the NEP 2020, when it is built on the foundational pillars of the access, equity, quality, affordability, and accountability, NEP strives to transform India into a vibrant knowledge society to become a global knowledge superpower. When I say Vishwa Guru, so obviously to reach to those things, to satisfy or in the parity of National Education Policy 2020, the things are come into picture, that is the National Credit Framework. So obviously this cannot be done by the one night and one day. There must be the committee who has worked like anything. So high level committee, the government of India constitute a high level committee on 18th of November 2021 to develop a national credit accumulation and transfer framework for both the vocational and general education. The credit framework would enable the integration of academic and vocational domain components of learning and ensure flexibility and mobility between these two. Flexibility is important and mobility is important. I think mobility that we reach, we are in the era of cellular communication and mobile communication, and we are the witness that mobility is reached to the very high level now. We are in the era of the online education, we are in the era of the internet. I think these mobility issues are always possible, which is based on technology upgradation. Are we allow students for learning in a flexible manner? Still, if you are reside in this, I think this framework cannot be performed based on these things. 11 members, starting from UGC to the, we can say that the level like AICTs and others, the national agencies, they have done, they sit together, and 11 members have done this part. So, as I said, National Credit Framework to realize the intent and objective of National Education Policy 2020. The National Credit Framework has been developed under the guidance of Sri Dharmendra Pradhan, Honorable Minister of Education and Minister of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, jointly by a high-level committee constituted by the government with the members of EICT, UGC, and then like NCRT and all. Department of School Education and Learning and Department of Higher Education, Ministry of Education, likewise, even Skill Development Ministry also. So as I said, this is a very Herculean task, very large task. So the National Credit Framework, the report on a National Credit Framework jointly developed by the high level committee and that comprising of the members of the various organizations. Obviously, these are the government organization, University Grant Commission to the DGT, that is the Directorate General of Training, because everybody's are important. Because when you are talking about this credit framework, I think you have to allow the students to get the knowledge from the vocational training, get the knowledge from the visits, get the knowledge by the workshop. Classroom teaching may be a change now. It is not like 100% of it now. Things can be I'll see that part. I'll also give a detail on it. But obviously, the flexibility and mobilities are important to establish the National Credit Framework. So, National Credit Framework for accreditation of all learning and assignment, accumulation, storage, transfer, and redemption of credits subject to assessment, removes distinction and establishes academic equivalence between vocational and general education while enabling mobility within and between them and its operationalization through the ABC. Friends, we are knowing about the ABC, Academic Bank of Credits. We are witness that registration and the everything is done for the students at our organizations because we have gone through these processes. Let me brief you about the National Credit Framework that relies on an integrating approach across the education and skilling frameworks, enabling the education and skilling ecosystem in implementing one single credit based framework in line with the vision of a NEP 2020. So, while catering to multidisciplinarity and holistic education across science, social science, arts, humanities, and sports, the National Credit Framework enables the multiple entry, multiple exit, that is the ME pathways in a general and vocational education. We have to ensure flexibility for students to choose their learning trajectories and career choices, including option for a midway courses, correction or modification as per their talents and interest. This is very important because you are just changing your role to the facilitators. National Credit Framework, it also recognizes blended and online learning, promoting extensive use of technology in teaching and learning, especially in a vocational education, training and skilling. Use of technology in turn helps in removing barriers while improving access and opportunities for the Divyangs. We are also taking care of the Divyangs in this. Implementation of National Credit Framework will promote internalization of education by enabling equivalence of courses and qualification, provision of credit transfer, and encourage international exchange of a student and faculty with a foreign university. Till today, we are normally depends on the accreditation process. VAICT affiliated institutes are depends on National Board of Accreditation, that is NBA, and other UGC based universities and institutions, they were depend on a NEC. So if my student who is coming to my institute, who is working here, I mean studying here, when he clear his exam, he will go to the some foreign universities. If my institute, if my university is accredited, he was always helpful. I was a witness of it also. So things are changed now, right? When we have a national credit frameworks, I think we are trying to streamline those things in a proper manners. We are trying to finalize the study and the interest of the students. The National Credit Framework paves way for multidisciplinary education and empowers the student through a flexibility in choice of courses for choosing their own learning trajectories and programs and thereby choose their path in a life with appropriate career choices, including option for a midway course corrections according to their talents and interests. This is very important, as I said before. And that's why the University Grant Commission has announced the implementation of the National Credit Framework for all regularity organization and university in India. And this framework is designed to integrate the credits earned through a school education, higher education, vocational education, and skill education. And finally, it provides a lifelong learning opportunity. That is very important educational objectives. When I ask someone what is the National Credit Framework, so according to the framework, an academic year will be defined by the number of hours a student puts in and credits that will be provided to them accordingly at the end of each academic year. The National Credit Framework is a meta framework that consists of three verticals. First, National School Education Qualification Framework. Second, National Higher Education Qualification Framework. And finally, the National Skills Qualification Framework. What are the provisions? Integration of academic and vocational educations. We are trying to integrate academic and vocational education here. The integration of academic and vocational education is emphasized by the NEP 2020 and it is provided by the National Credit Framework. What are the promise being given by the NEP? 2020 that can be executed, that can be implemented by national credit frameworks. This mechanism ensures equivalence within and between the two education streams. When I say credit system, my institute is a witness of this credit system since 1984. But let me give a brief on it. The total notional learning hours in a year for assignment of credits will be at 1200 hours. A minimum of 40 credits may be earned for a 1200 hours of a learning every year with 20 credits per semester of a 6 month. So notional hours refer to the time that the average student would need to attend all classes, study for tests, and do assignment and homework. The total credits earned by a student during the entire schooling period will be a 160 credits. By the end of the 3 years bachelor degree course, the student will have earned 120 credits. When a student completes a PhD, he or she earned credits would be a 320. Student will also get a credits for participating in Olympiads, science quizzes, hackathon, or any competition or internship and taking up a jobs while they are studying in the college. When I say credit level, what is the meaning of it? The National Credit Framework has proposed several levels within this framework, ranging from level 1 to level 8. The credit level that can be attained after completion of the school education, it means grade 5th will be a level 1, grade 8 will be a level 2, likewise grade 12 will be a level 4. Higher education shall be from the credit levels of 4.5 to level 8. The National Credit Framework credits level for the school education are up to level 4, while for higher education, for a vocational education and training level 1 to level 8. Aadhaar enabled student registration. We have done this part, right? An Aadhaar enabled student registration will take place after student registration and Academic Bank of Credit ABC accounts will be opened. The deposit of a degree and credits will take place in those accounts. There will be a knowledge locker along the lines of a DZ locker. When I say credits in an Indian context, then there are four important types. Here we are very much concentrate on the first part, that is a choice-based credit system, CBCS by UGC. But there are four types. Second is the skill assessment matrix for a vocational advancement of a youth, known as a SAMPI by AICT for the technical education and all. UGC guideline, third one, UGC guideline for providing a skill-based education under a national skill qualification framework. And fourth one is the credit structure for autonomous institutions like IITs and IIMs. So when I say CBCS, because my prime concentration should be what is my requirement when I have a UGC affiliated institute or university. So under the CBCS system, the requirement for awarding the degree or diploma or certificate course is prescribed in terms of number of credits to be earned by the students. And this framework is being implemented in several universities across states in India. Let me elaborate further. I'm talking about choice-based credit system by UGC. The main highlights of the CBCS are, as per this mentioned, the CBCS provides flexibility in designing curriculum and assigning credits based on the course content and learning hours. So, designing curriculum and assigning credits based on the course content and the learning hours. The CBCS provides for a system wherein students can take the courses of their choice, learn at their own pace, undergo additional courses, and acquire more than the required credits, and adopt an interdisciplinary approach to learning. CBCS also provides opportunities for vertical mobility to the students from a bachelor's degree program to a master's and research degree program. These are the opportunity possible. That is a vertical mobility also. What are the important components? That is the UGC guidelines for providing a skill-based education under National Skill Qualification Framework. Then we are concentrating on the two important components. First one is the skill component and second is the general education component. So when I say skill component, that should have a minimum 60 percentage and that can be extended up to a maximum 70 percentage of the total credits. The skill component will include practical classes in laboratories, workshop, internships, apprenticeships, and any other forms of hands-on training. So by this, we can understand that the skill component is also going to increase. But general education component, the balance credit of the program is 30 to 40 percentage are of general component, and this will include the curricula which are supportive to the core trade in addition to communication skills, soft skills, digital skills, critical thinking, problem solving skills, environmental studies, and value education. If I do this, what the benefit that obviously the beneficiary are the student most of the part, and we are the here as the facilitators. So removal of a hard separation between educational streams, general and vocational education, curricular and other activities, establishing equivalence between general and vocational education and training or skilling, mobility between and within general and vocational education and training or skilling, enabling the provision for lifelong learning through a multiple entry and multiple exit options. This is very important. If you are dropped, it's not a permanent drop over here. You can move it on from one place to another place. You can, because it is again based on your score and all, based on your eligibilities. This is also very important. But lifelong learning is important and our educational objective should be satisfied over here. So when I say enabling provision for lifelong learning through a ME, that is a multiple entry, and ME, it is a multiple exit option. But what the objective itself? Because I think this is when I say this one is considered as some जैसे कि क्रांतिकारी step जैसा. यहाँ पे हमें लगा ऐसा कि भाई how I mean why this multiple exits and multiple entry and multiple exit or how it works. So remove the rigid boundaries and facilitate new possibilities for learners. Let us allow them. Let's do a best facilitator for the students. Let's establish the education 4.0. Let's establish the NEP 2020 in a proper way and proper objectives. Recognize there's no hard separation between the different areas of learning. It means arts, commerce, humanities, and science, vocational and academic stream, curricular and extracurricular for the purpose of assignment of credits and credit levels, offer creative combination of disciplines of study that would enable multiple entry and exit points. It offers the flexibility in a curriculum and novel course option to students in addition to discipline specific specialization. In this topic, the things are continued that it offers the flexibility in choice of courses to the student for choosing their own learning trajectories and program and thereby choose their path in a life with appropriate career choice, including option for a midway course corrections according to their talents and interests. Creditization of all types of learning subject to assessment also enable the accreditation of experimental learning, including relevant experience and proficiency, professional level acquired based on the weightage for a relevant experience and proficiency or professional level achieved subject to assessment. Yes, our assessment part become a very important over here. In this same subtopic, if we do this ME and multiple entry and multiple exit, what how it serves the objectives. Validation of a non-formal and informal learning like alternative, home or open or online or distance learning for the award of the certificate, diploma, degree and encourage the lifelong learning and facilitate redemption or encasing credits earned against a certificate, diploma or degree when the learner resume his or her programs of study. We are providing this kind of facilities to them. What are the other advantages of the National Credit Framework? Integration and intermingling of education, skilling, and work experience, enabling creditization of a learning for a student with varying learning capacities, enables provision for recognition of a prior learning, that is RPL. Let us see let us try to invoke in the national credit frameworks in some different level. The national credit framework, the basic principle, obviously the experts have decided, they have prepared very important documents. Our responsibility is to justify and execute this framework for integration. So creditization of all types of learning, assignment of a credit levels for all learning for a seamless integration, integration of a learning in all dimension of academics and skilling, along with the experimental learning, including relevant experience and proficiency or professional labels acquired. That is about the creditization of all type of learning. Yes, credit will be given. Assignment of a one single credit level also. National Credit Framework credits level applicable across all qualification frameworks. No other separate credit levels to be assigned by the stakeholders. Assignment, accumulation, storage, transfer, and redemption of the credit. This is a very important process. Assignment of a credit is to be independent of the streams, subject, or any learning, of course, subject to assignments. Assignment of a credits for online, digital, and blended learning. Operationalization of a national credit framework through a ABC. ABC is Academic Bank of Credits, as we all already aware, encompassing the school education, higher education, and vocational or skill education. The total notional learning hours for assignment of a credits to be uniform across the school education, higher education, and vocational education, and finally, training or skilling educations. This total notional learning hours are already defined. The assessment is a mandatory for a learning credits, equivalence of academic and vocational education and skilling programs, multiple entry and multiple exit options ensuring a horizontal and vertical mobility, provision of a multidisciplinary and holistic education across sciences, social sciences, arts, humanities, and sports. So this one is the basic. As we already discussed previously, there is no hard separation between different areas of a learning. It allows the imaginative and flexible curricular structure, enables the creative combination of discipline. The provision for integration of a vocational education and scaling into a academic education at all the levels. So this national credit framework has, there is a provision for integration of vocational education and skilling into academic education at all levels. So empowerment of the student for a flexibility in a choice of courses, choosing their own learning trajectories and program, option for a midway course corrections. So we are empowering the students. We are giving the flexibilities for finding this or for choice their courses, for choice choosing their own learning trajectories and program, and option for a midway courses correction by, as you know, MEME, that is a multiple entry and multiple exit. Provision for recognition of a prior learning and national credit framework credit levels and credit assignment for the same for mainstreaming the learners who are out of formal education and scaling an ecosystem, provision for RPL with or without upskilling. As I already discussed this part, that various kind of lifelong learning can be encouraged for awarding the certificate, diploma, degree, or higher level, and there are basically the various way of this lifelong learning, maybe informal, maybe non-formal, maybe a learning through any means, including non-government organization, NGOs. And our students are really this in this era. The students are really very much aware about this kind of pay back to society concepts. Even though in a NSS, even though in NCC, our students are always finding the excellent, and that we all have observed. So learning through any means, including non-government organization, is also possible. Because classroom teaching and beyond classroom both are matters, and National Credit Framework will put a more emphasis on the second things, that is the beyond classroom. Supports the educational acceleration for a student with a gifted learning abilities, also support the same level and number of credits for a Divyangs, even though it may require higher level learning hours for achieving the same outcome levels for the Divyang. And as I said before also, there is a provision, there is a supports provision for hackathon and subject Olympiads for exceptional children. Provide the scope for accreditation national and international achievers in any fields, including but not limited to sports, Indian knowledge system, music, heritage and traditionally skills, performing and fine arts, master craftsman, etc. See, because as you know, there are so many diversity in the fields. Students, those who are coming to specific course, they also feel that in some after some time that let me do this kind of course where he was more suitable. So he can correct his education. Purposes for implementation of the intent of National Education Policy, NEP 2020. So, what are the purposes? Obviously, as I said, integration of the higher education, I mean the education and vocational education system. The curricular structure for accreditation or approval of qualification. Planning and delivery of education or skilling program. Developing, designing of curriculum courses, qualification. Developing the syllabus, content, pedagogy, teaching and learning resources, information about the broad equivalence of a qualification, defining the learning outcomes which the learner must possess, regardless of the whether they were acquired through a formal, non-formal, or informal learning. The level descriptive for school education, higher education, and vocational education and skilling. These levels are defined in terms of learning outcomes. Defining entry criteria and academic equivalence, nomenclature and award of certificate, diplomas, and degree. Yes, we have to finalize. Let me give us some terms regarding the national credit frameworks. When I say credit, the credit is a recognition that a learner has completed a prior course of learning corresponding to a qualification at a given level. And when I say credit points, that will give the learners, employers, and institutions a mechanism for describing and comparing the learning outcome achieved. The credit points can be calculated as the credits attained multiplied with the credit level. Total notional learning hours in a year for assignment of a credits, thus 20 credits shall be awarded for a 6-month semester with 600 notional learning hours. 30 notional learning hours will be counted as a 1 credit. So according under the National Credit Framework, the total notional learning hours for assignment of credits across school education, higher education, and vocational education and training or skilling have been agreed to be at 1200 hours. This is very important that figure 1200 hours per year except for a preschool up to grade 5th, wherein the learning hours range from 800 to 1000 hours, for which the students shall be awarded of 40 credits. So credits per semester or first 6 months may be considered as a 20, but when I go with the 1 year, that is about the 40 credits. So learning hours range from 800 to 1000 hours. This is for the grade 5th up to grade 5th. But when the student who is already entered in a higher education and vocational educations and training skilling, then there is a 1200 hours per year. It's considered as a notional hours. So when I say that how the things can be calculated, because when I say that 1200 hours, that how it can be separated. So what constitutes learning hours? Components of learning. First one, classroom teaching, learning hours and tutorials. Second, lab work, practical innovation labs, project incubation labs. Third one, yearly and half yearly examination, class test, quiz, and other assessment, including formative assessment. As you know, till today, we are following the components of learning is the third one, and sparkly for the second. First is also there, but my point is whether we are really go with the tutorials, whether we really go with the incubation labs or innovation labs or projects or any practical approach, whether we go with the some quizzes. If yes, then it is easy to migrate from the our conventional system to the national framework, national credit framework. So activities as a part of the curricular structure leading to experimental learning like a relevant experience and proficiency or professional levels, performing arts or fine arts, music, handicraft, traditional heritage work likewise. As you know, student is normally join the institutes. If there is no any mentor, nobody is educated in their families, then they enter or they start the course, which is not based on his choice. It is just to get it randomly. He can correct this one. He can correct at any moment on the base of multiple entry and multiple exit, which is the important outcome of this national credit framework. Debates and discussion, essay writing, re- recitation, story writing, etc. Celebration of festivals in institutes, music performance, drama, etc. Self-defense classes, value educational classes, career counseling sessions, etc. Other contests, events, competitions like hackathon and Olympiads, and etc. As I said, maybe a sports, maybe a games, maybe a physical activity, maybe yoga. That is the component of learning. Life skill based education like employment skills, basic operational skills like learning to fix a bulb, basic carpentry classes, on morals. Likewise, social community works like adult education, teaching in NGOs or out of school students, environment related gender sensitization, NCC, likewise, school cleaning, building, likewise, so many things. Bagless days, field visit organized by the institutions. Students are coming for learning. When I consider as a school education, there may be a bagless days. So the student are not carrying the bags in all time. Vocational education or training, skilling, minor or a major project work assignments, field visits, projects, industry attachment by institutions. Still, the component of learning are there, and let's see the other component of learning. The internship and apprenticeship hours on the job training, that is considered as a OJT, and experimental learning including relevant experience and proficiency or professional level required, programs offered through a blended or online digital learning, self-study or a home assignment only for open schooling, out of school students, any other type of learning as may be notified by the regulators consent. So obviously the component of learning is very diversified. Credit assignment for additional learning hours, and there is a assessment bands. There is a various assessment bands given by the report of a national credit frameworks published in the last year, where the PhD is considered as far as an assessment band is concerned, is a 8 credit levels, where class 1, when standard 1 student, as far as their assessment band is concerned, they consider as a zero point 0.2 credit levels. So if somebody will visit the report of a national credit framework, then you will find out the complete block diagram of it. I try to show this part also, if possible. So page number 43. This may be not a completely 43 is possible, but this is assessment band. So one table is given that one can also visit, right? This is probably it's a page number 43 where the assessment band and the details are available. Here is the things are given, that is the table number 3, right? So I have already put a link. One can see because I share this material to the obviously the organizers. Same way, the learning hours across academic classes. So the 1200 learning hours are defined. There is also mentioned in this, there is a table 2 is there where the learning hours are given. This one is the learning hours. I hope it is visible to everyone because it is a learning hours across the academic classes. Then this way the things can be easily explored over here and understandable also. The school education, like here is 800 for the stage 5 years. Likewise, excuse me. Yes. Then likewise, as I have put this one, 1200 hours. This is for diploma engineering offered by AICT, and this is our UGC first year undergraduate certificate courses, or it may be an undergraduate diploma, or maybe a degree, 3-year bachelor degree, or UG with honors, or the postgraduate diploma, or master's degree, or finally it is a PhD degree. This all the total notional learning hours is mentioned over here, right? So it is about 1200. So one can visit those link also. I think I've shared this part. Yes. Next is the major dimension of the national credit framework, say, because for any process or for any, the methodology what is being adopted by us, there is always some dimension of it. So there are main components or dimension of a learning. The first one is credit earned by the virtue of completed academic education, or credit earned by the virtue of undergoing vocational education, training, or skill program, or credit point earned by virtue of relevant experimental learning, including relevant experience and proficiency or professional level acquired. One where the academic education put emphasis. Second one where the vocational education and training and skill program are major contributed dimension. And third, where the credit points earned by the experimental learning, including relevant experience, proficiency, and professional level acquired. As you know, when we entered that learning through experimental learning, or including relevant experience and proficiency or professional level acquired, I think that would be a very good way to learning. The problem solving can be touched here. The what the student is learning, that by involving himself or herself, I think they can do a better outcome of this process. This may be not visible, but obviously this one is regarding the credit levels, as I said, right? What is the credit assignment of a credits in the national credit framework? So I said something on it that up to PhD we can say that 1200 hours, and the credit may be 8 or something. A total credit may be earned. It is different, as you know, right? For the postgraduate diploma, it is something like this, and there is a. I'll share this part also. And that is possible by the example. Credit, what is being earned by the student, or credit accumulation, how it is done, and how the things can be transferred. This is a very crucial process, but because of the guidelines given by the committee to us, I think we can do this thing also easily. Operationalization of a credit framework, credit accumulation. The one example is there, a learner completing grade 11, right? Anybody? And grade 12 from a regular schooling. He earns 40 credits for each grade. The credit points accumulated by the learners would be 3.5 multiplied by 40, that is equal to 140, and 4 multiplied by 40, that is 160 for each grade. Therefore, the accumulated credit points for the assessment band for the national credit frame levels is between 3.5 and 4 equals the 300s, right? This one, between this 3.5, what is the given here on the, I mean, based on the table number 2, that is a 3.5 multiplied by 40, that is 140, and 4 multiplied by 40 is 160. When I add this two, I'll get the 300, right, credits, and that can be possible. Finally, I say that the what he get the assessment band, that is a 3.5, and I mean it between 3.5 and 4. If let me give this one with the another example, and that is the credit accumulations. No, it's not example here right now because I think I have done mistake here. Okay, it's the same, but I'll go with the another example when the things have somewhat become difficult to understand. Right now, credit storage, credit accumulation and transfer is fine, but storage is very important. So credit accumulated by an individual shall be stored through academic bank of credits as envisaged under by NEP. Obviously, it is stored by the ABC, that is Academic Bank of Credits. ABC shall enable an individual to digitally keep record of all the learning acquired and accumulated throughout life in a common account. ABC shall provide for a storage of credits irrespective of type of learning. It means academic or vocational or experimental, and thus shall enable the 60 lifelong learning. Then, next one. The transfer of a credits may be defined as the process of a mutual acceptance of a credit between the two entities. This would mean that competency acquired by a learner, student, after completion of a qualifications are acknowledged in a numerical values. The transfer of a credit is possible only when credits are recognized by the concerned awarding bodies and there is a mutual agreement on credit between the body allocating the credits and the body accepting those credits. Transfer cannot be easily done here. That is, a mutual acceptance is very important, first of all, of two entities. Then competency is also very important. Other thing is when the credits are recognized by the concerned awarding bodies, then there is a mutual agreement is possible. It is finally the game of the mindset, and at the same time, the some dimension of it. Next one. If I say the transfer of a credit shall fulfill the following objective. What are that? First one, establish the equivalence between general education and vocational education and training or skilling without further certification of equivalence. Define entry criteria for various qualifications. Define and establish the multiple entry and exit possibilities. Enhance the international mobilities. Other benefit like establishing a minimum requirements for a job, employment, or a project, if applicable. So there are so many important objectives of transfer of the credits, and that's why we should promote also. Establishing a multiple entry and multiple exit, that is MEME pathways. The credit transfer mechanism will also enable the student learner to enter and exit the educational ecosystem, both general and vocational, at any point of time. Enter and exit. It should be a very simplified. The educational ecosystem can be survived in a proper manner if we allow at any point of time. In such cases, the due weightage is given to a work experience gained or any other training undertaken by the learner. The proposed equivalence by virtue of this national credit framework highlights how a student can accumulate necessary credits that will allow a student to re-enter the mainstream education. So there are three important things here. On this slide, multiple entry and multiple exit establishment pathway is concerned. The first is there must be we have to establish the mechanism that the people, I mean the student rather, or learner, can be easily be a witness of the best example of the educational ecosystem by moving one place to another place, and here at any point of time, general or vocational, anything based on learning is there. And in such cases, due weightage is given to a work experience gained or any other training undertaken by the learner. This is the second case, because we are allowing those who have already left their studies, they can also come back, right? The work experience is also need to be counted. The proposed equivalence by the virtue of this national credit framework highlights how a student can accumulate necessary credits that will allow a student to re-enter the mainstream education. Now I'll go with some example, because with the help of example, this process can be easily understood. Establishing multiple entry and multiple exit pathway. A fifth grade student with a total accumulated credit points of 200 over the years and undertaking certain bridge course is eligible to appear for an 8th class examination. Very important point. Those who are a fast learner, those who are get the credits fast, they accumulate the credit fast, and if it is a credit at point of 200 over the year and undertaking certain bridge course is eligible to appear for 8th class examination. See this one. Once the student clears this exam, he will be a grade 8 pass and can continue with a 9th grade onwards through a mainstream education. See the things. Second example, where the establishment of the multiple entry and multiple exit can be understandable. In case of the undergraduate degree of either 3 or a 4-year duration, the possible, excuse me, so let me have water, please. Sorry for interruption. So, in case of undergraduate degree of either 3 or 4 year duration, the possible multiple entry and exit options are follows. First one, A, Part A. Certificate after completing the 1 year in a discipline or field, including the vocational and professional areas. Diploma after 2 years of study, or bachelor's degree after a 3 year program. A bachelor degree with a research or honors engineering in case of 4 year bachelor programs. For the master program, there are the example. This one is a case study. Uh, let's say part A of this. A 2 year program with a second year devoted entirely to research for those who have completed the 3 year bachelor programs. A 1 year master's program for a student who are completing a 4 year bachelor's program with the honors or honors with the research. See the an integrated 5 year bachelor's or master program with an option to exit at the end of the third year with the bachelor degree with a entry to a 2 year master program in another higher education institutes. I guess this one is the flexibility and mobilities. Let me give another example because we are here focusing on the various discipline and streams. Learner, after completing the first year of a MTech program, shall be eligible for an M.VOC degree upon exit, having M.VOC degree, Master in Vocational Training or degree. However, is not mandatory for entry into an MTech program because it is finally your interest. Another advantage of this thing is there is the international mobility. As you know, international equivalence and transfers of a credit shall be enabled through a various multilateral or bilateral agreements between respective regulators of the countries concerned. As you know, the even Washington Accords was adopted by the India for diploma studies. The Sydney Accords were accepted for the accreditation and all. I'll give you details on the other kind of accreditation, other kind of accords and other kind of international agencies who is looking this, or those who are regularize the international mobilities. A uniform and standardized national framework for credit accumulation and transfer would lend credibility and authenticity to the credits being assigned and earned under various programs in India, thereby, thereby making these credits more acceptable and therefore transferable internationally. As far as international mobility is concerned, the Washington Accord, as I said, where it was signed the among 6 countries in 1989, they are responsible for accrediting undergraduate engineering degree program, as I said before. Then there is a Bologna process launched in 1998 to 99, established the goals for the reforms in the participating countries, such as the 3 cycle degree structure, maybe bachelor, maybe master, maybe doctorate, and adopted the said instruments such as the European Credit Transfer and Accumulation System, that is the ECTS. One can visit the page number 73 for more details. Credit storage and redemption through academic bank of credits. Storage is important, but how we get it is also important, how we can transfer it. So mechanism for a credit system The framework envisages a well-developed academic bank of credits encompassing the requirements of academic, vocational, and experiential learning, including relevant experience and proficiency professional level acquired. So ABC, as you know, it is very good system established. As per NEP 2020, the Academic Bank of Credits, which shall be a national level facility, it will promote the flexibility of the curriculum framework and interdisciplinary or a multidisciplinary academic mobility of a student across the higher education institutions in the country with the appropriate credit transfer mechanism. So it is the repository of all credit earned by the student. Academic Bank of Credit, it is a repository of all credit earned by student. And these credits shall be accumulated and redeemable provided the credits accumulated are within the same assessment band. The credits accumulated shall have a validity expiry which will be defined with respect to each program. Now, its validity and expiry is always there. And this is accumulated and redeemable also. There is the important process that is a verification of the credit earns. The verification of the credit accumulated and stored in ABC will be done by the respective regulators. How the things can be redeemed? So redemption of accumulated credits. The ABC will promote the equity, quality, flexibility, mobility, collaboration, transparency, and integration to improve the competitiveness and efficiency of India's education system. ABC shall provide the services including the credit accumulation, credit transfer, credit redemption through the opening, closure, and validation of accounts, and shall enable multiple entry, multiple exit option in a program. When I say credit expiry and renewal, what does it mean? Credits earned by students shall be deposited in the respective bank account with the ABC and shall be valid for a period as defined by the respective regulator to till it is redeemed. The redemption of a credit shall be as per the provision of the ABC guidelines or as stipulated by the regulatory concerned or autonomous institutions. This is very important point. When I say that who is the regulatory concern, so this one is a important point. My another point of interest is the challenges. What kind of challenges that we should be ready with this, or what the challenges are happened or would be for the national accreditation, this one credit firms. First one, standardization. National credit framework consists of a different verticals, as we know, that is discussed also based on skill and all for the school level and higher education level. Ensuring the standardization across these verticals while catering to the unique needs of each stream might be challenge. This may be challenge. Data security and privacy. The use of Aadhaar-enabled student registration and an academic bank of credits account to store a student data may pose the security and privacy risk. That is possible. Ensuring the security and confidentiality of the data will be a crucial for the successful implementation of the national credit frameworks. Obviously, the things are being taken care, but these are the the challenges because we are in the era of the digital. Let me give a conclusion about my talk, that is the or about the this national credit framework. That national credit framework aims to provide the seamless horizontal and vertical mobility with the flexibility between different educational streams or specialization or multidisciplinary in India. However, the successful implementation of the national credit framework may face several challenges such as implementation, standardization, acceptance, and adoptions. Addressing these challenges will require a collaborative efforts from various stakeholders to ensure that the framework is up to date, relevant, and effective in addressing the changing needs of the education system in India. That is our responsibility because we are also very important stakeholders of the education systems. Students are the above all. Student is considered as the most important stakeholders of the our ecosystem. These are some references from where the things can be considered or prepared. And this is the my last slide. That is the thank you all. And if anybody have a, let me ask the questions if it is there. I don't know what is happening here. Let me see. I have to stop the screen, right? Hello, Namaskar. This is from my side. Yes. Anybody is there?
Preeti madam?
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
I think I have done my part. Any questions? Then I consider.
Yeah. Preeti madam? Yes. Dear all participants, if you have any questions regarding the lecture, you can ask your question in comment box. So we can ask behalf of you your questions.
Thank you all because I think to understand the national credit frameworks, it takes at least 5 sessions. I'll just give you a brief about it because once we invoke in the any new system, I think we can easily because journey is very important in the life, so we can start the journey in a better way. Yeah, that is my view, and that's why I've given the the ideas and the basic terminology being used for the national credit frameworks. So this is our own responsibility to establish and execute this national
Yes.
credit frameworks in a proper way. That is my view. Yes.
Yes, a nice session. Uh,
Thank you.
Maybe every participants are understand the topic, and there are no questions are there, but there are certain good comments are here. Nice presentation, informative session kind of comments are there, and
Yes, thank you.
there are yes, sir. And each and every participants are happy with the lecture. So yes, yeah,
Thank
till
you.
time no
Thank you.
any questions here. So thank you very much, Dr. Jagdisham Rathod sir, from behalf of HRDC Gujarat University, and our director Jagdish Joshi sir is behalf of our director Jagdish Joshi sir. Also congratulate. Also thank you very much to you, sir.
It's
And
my pleasure. It's my pleasure. I am first time I am just delivering to this, even though I have delivered in the 15th state till now. But I think
oh,
first time the opportunities are available
yes.
with me by the HRDCs. I am very much thankful to them. And definitely in future, if any help from my side is needed, I will definitely
Great,
do it.
great, sir. And dear participants, here we also want to share you that UGC HRDC of Gujarat University is the one of the oldest HRDC of India, and it
India.
was known as Academic Staff College earlier, and it was established in 1987, and we are ranked in 16 amongst 66 HRDC of India by NEP. And we are doing the we did the FIP, FDP orientation program, refresher courses, short term courses, winter school, summer school, kind of different programs we also conducted here. So we invited you all for all courses, and after each and every workshop, each and every program, we are enlarge our family, and we think our all participants are our family, and so yeah, all resource persons are also welcome after session. Anytime you can visit our Gujarat University. Our director warmly welcome to you all also. And dear all participants, our website is UGC HRDC Gujarat University is very dynamic. Please visit that also. And the journal of UGC HRDC GU is indexed in Crossref and has digital object identifiers. And we invite international resource person also. We have the MOU with the UK and Canadian universities. We provide consultancy also, and we are innovative and established training institute. Dear all participants, we put the video feedback of participants also on our website, so you can visit our website and see the comments and see the feedbacks of other participants, so you can get the idea of our HRDC. So thank you very much, dear all participants, and thank you very much, Dr. Jagdish M. Rathod sir, from our director also. Thank you very much, our Vice Chancellor Neerja Madam. Thank you very much, our Registrar Sir PM Patel sir, and dear all participants, thank you very much to you also. And we will be meet with the next workshop or next any program. Till time, everybody, thank you very much and namaskar.
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 Bye. See you. God bless you all. Bye.
Thank you, sir.